I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
I'm not even supposed to be here today! Oh, fuck you!
Come on, you want me to drive? You're supposed to be suicidal. Remember, I'll
Anybody
drive.
a drive?
Get in the car.
Fuck me in the ass. Fuck you, you fucking stupid cunt.
Hey everyone, it's Don G. Corleone here, and I'm here with a brand new movie review. This review is going to be for the other new release that came out last weekend, and that's going to be for Heart Eyes, directed by Josh Rubin. That was the double feature with Love Hurts that got released last year. So, what's the plot of Heart Eyes? Well, for the past several years, there's a notorious killer called the Heart Eyes Killer, that has wreaked havoc on Valentine's Day by stalking and murdering romantic couples. And this Valentine's Day, no couple is safe. That's pretty much the plot and the concept of it. And these two news people get basically caught up in the whole thing. And they have to try to survive. Yeah, so how was this made? Well, the movie's directed by Josh Rubin, and it's produced by Spyglass Media Group, formerly known as Spyglass Entertainment. The script is written by Phil Murphy, Michael Kennedy, and Christopher Landon. When it came to filming the movie, the filming took place in New Zealand in June 2024. Then in October, Jay Whaley was announced to be composing the film's score. Then, of course, around that same time, June 2024 last year, Republic Pictures acquired worldwide distribution rights outside the United States and Canada to the film. Then in September 2024, Sony Pictures and Screen Gems acquired the North America distribution rights and released on February 7, 2025. Yeah. Then, of course, so after Heart Eyes was shot and, I guess, marketed, I don't remember seeing any trailers for the film. Because it was kind of more of a limited marketing campaign. Heart Eyes were going to be theatrically released last weekend, the same time as Love Hurts, on February 7th, 2025, by Sony Pictures releasing in North America, and by Republic Pictures through Paramount Pictures internationally. When it came to the reactions, this movie got positive reviews from critics and has made $10 million worldwide, based off its $18 million budget. Now when it comes to my reaction to the movie, I've decided that since it's Valentine's Day and it's a Valentine's Day movie, I decided to spend Valentine's Day seeing this movie in theaters. And how was it? I thought this surprisingly was a really pretty good for a new modern day Valentine's Day slasher flick, and a pretty decently well written one too. Yeah, see guys, I'm not like Young Defiant. I don't hate every single new thing that comes out. There are quite a lot of new releases I like. I'm not like Young Defiant. I'm nothing like Young Defiant at all. Unlike Young Defiant, there's actually stuff I like. That's an example of a guy who actually does hate everything. This movie, on the other hand, was a very thrilling, comedic, and surprisingly romantic twist on the horror genre. It's the mix of suspense and humor, and it makes for an unexpected roller coaster of emotions, and it keeps viewers engaged from start to finish. Like, I definitely like the kills in this movie. I like the whole concept of this whole killer that kills you if you're in love with somebody. Like, there's not really a lot of Valentine's Day themed horror films. Like, there's My Bloody Valentine and its remake, and there's definitely that, but so it was nice to see a new Valentine's Day themed horror film. And yeah, I didn't see any trailers for this, so I just went in the movie blind. All I know is that it's a Valentine's Day themed slasher. I just went in the movie blind, and I ended up really liking it. Our two lead characters, like, they had strong and funny chemistry, and their witty dialogue, relatable personalities. They make the film both funny and enjoyable, and packed with like great gore and great kills, intense moments in a way that's very lighthearted. Like, the movie doesn't take itself too seriously. It blends in lightheartedness with the darker themes. The pacing is really fast, it's really steady with no dull moments. Every scene feels definitely necessary to the ongoing thriller storyline. The film's tone is very suspenseful, and it really keeps things fresh with surprising twists. And the visuals are gripping, reminiscent of like Saw and stuff, but it's got like a more modern, lighter touch. Like, the acting is definitely solid, the jokes are timely, and it appeals to both younger and older audiences. Like, when it comes to kills, I mean like kills as in, there's this one couple that's having sex in their car, and Hard Eyes that shows up because he's looking for the two main characters, and they're hiding in that car, and the two having sex in the back of the car see that, and he pretty much stabs the guy's mouth, and then drags the woman through the sword, that dagger that stabbed the guy's mouth, and into the mouth, and there's like a massacre at a drive-in, and yeah, like, there's some pretty good kills this movie. So how does this movie start? Well, we start off with this attempted proposal that's not going very well, and there is a bit of immature dialogue, and for a while this movie, some of the dialogue in this movie did have me kind of a little worried for it. I'm like, oh boy, somebody tells me this is probably going to be one of those immature movies. Like, sometimes it kind of feels like it's going to Eli Roth levels of territory, but how it starts off is like, this killer named Hard Eyes is notorious all over the media. He's moved from different cities in the United States, and he kills multiple couples on Valentine's Day. Then, he kills that proposal couple, like, the girl escapes, but gets shot in the leg by this arrow, and then, of course, sneaks into this warehouse, a guy sees her, but then he gets killed before he can help her. Then she goes into this little fountain tunnel, and Hard Eyes activates it, and it crushes her to death. And that's how the movie starts off. And then we meet our main characters, where Hard Eyes has now moved into Seattle and has murdered two couples, like one at a winery and another at a spa. Pretty much. And soon we meet our actual main characters, like, this is probably what you get if Hallmark did make a slasher movie. Well, it is kind of Hallmark-ish, but I like those Hallmark films that just sound really lame and sound just not that enjoyable and just way too cheaply made. This is actually kind of well written. This is actually a well written kind of Hallmark movie. Like, you got this really angsty banner when Allie meets Jay, our two main characters of the film, when they knock heads into a cafe, and they turn out to be rival ad executives because they work at a news station, and then Jay is now hired as a new guy, and he throw in a serial killer with a creepy mask and a hankering for lover's blood, some incompetent cops, and screaming teens, and there you have it. But definitely quite a fun ride. Like, it's got some really gory chases, and they're very well done. They got creative ways of killing victims in the film. You have Jordana Brewster from Texas Chainsaw Massacre the beginning, and the Fast and Furious movies. And you even got David Soya from Final Destination in this. They're playing these two inept, if not unethical cops that actually have the names of two Fast and Furious characters, Hobbs and Shaw. They even reference the Hobbs and Shaw spinoff in this film when our main character meets these two. It adds to the intrigue of romance within the serial killer flick, and Hard Eyes is pretty much a film that knows exactly what it wants to be. It's a movie that refuses to be taken seriously. That's very evident in the script, the performances, the direction, and it's also its title. Like, kind of like the Hard Eyes, it's kind of based off the Hard Eyes emoji. Like, the mask literally looks like the Hard Eyes emoji. Like, this is what you get if Hallmark ever decided to do a slasher flick. This would kind of be the result. Instead of, like, shying away from the absurd premise, Hard Eyes actually really embraces it. It delivers a self-aware love letter to both cheesy rom-coms and classic horror slashers. And it doesn't try to force the lines, but instead adds to the self-aware tone that challenges the validity of the words. And it plays well with the tropes, and it adds insults that feel real, and yet they're also so cheesy that they actually didn't get a laugh out of me in the theater. Right there. Like, it really feels like the throwback to the writing of the 70s slashers and some of the 80s horror films, and or the more low-budget B-movie horror films of the 90s, directed by unknown directors at the time before they went on to direct big-name films. The acting even helps further enhance these lines, and the characters do their best to make the odd combination of comedy, drama, and horror, and sometimes doing it unexpectedly very well. It's okay, it's a kind of perfect for a ridiculous film, and the two actors give it all their make this holiday horror shine well. Like, Hard Eyes really blends horror romantic comedy to neat perfection, and it's got a lot for fans by their genre to enjoy, whether it's the gruesome deaths or the sappy love story between our two lead characters. So, now we meet our two lead characters. We meet this pitch designer named Allie, who's a pitch designer for a jewelry company that broke up with her boyfriend. She's right now at a news station being ridiculed for a commercial she wrote involving doomed couples, which gets seen as offensive and disrespectful because of all the murders that were going around. So Allie's boss orders her to work with famed designer Jay Simmons, our other main character, that Allie had encountered at a coffee shop earlier. Like, apparently they're ordering the same drink, they frequently keep bumping heads, and there's often kind of this gag where Jay often is the one that gets hurt the most, like, often gets, like, minor injuries the most throughout the film. Then Jay suggests then they have dinner that night when at work while he's waiting for a yoga class even, and Allie's best friend Monica then helps her pick out an outfit, and you kind of see where this movie's going. So then Allie and Jay meet at the restaurant. The conversation though does start to get heated when they question each other's status and backstories. Jay then is about to leave and Allie falls, and then the two kiss, but then it turns out her previous boyfriend that broke up with her approaches with his new girlfriend. And Hard Eyes is watching from a distance, and the two of them reconcile their differences, and they take a cab to Allie's apartment. But Allie realizes because her and this friend of hers, like, throughout the film, that was just kind of an egg character, but thankfully she's not in the movie all that much. She gets locked out. She lost it at this fashion store, and has a spare, but it's under the mat. So Jay offers to help her open the door, but Allie says, no, I can just break the door. My landlord loves me. It's like, he keeps telling her not to, but then he relents and decides to break it himself, and he helps her break it after she forgets her key. But then, of course, it's there, problem solved, and now I'm bleeding. So his hand is cut in the process, so they go to tend to Jay's little minor glass wound upstairs. And then when they get there, she does remove the glass wound, and when she opens her closet, Hard Eyes is there, and then Hard Eyes straight up attacks them, so they try to leave, and they try to go to the cab, but he kills her cab driver, and chases them, and Jay gets knocked down in the process, and Allie ends up ironically ditching him and flees, then ends up on a carousel that Hard Eyes activates before the police then arrive, and we meet our two detective characters, Jeanette Shaw, and her partner Hobbs, who are Jordana Brewster and Devin Sawa's characters. At first, I think Jay did the killing, so they arrest Jay for the murders because the evidence regarding a wedding ring that got engraved with the initials JS, the winery where Hard Eyes murdered the first couple. But Jay claims his innocence, and right there when Allie sees him in the police car, are you okay? No, I'm not okay. You ditched me. What? No, you got knocked out. Stuff like, no, these muscles, they weren't made for violence. They were made for cuddling. Which I'll admit, that's easily probably the funniest line he says in the film. Like, easily, I think that's the line that easily got the biggest laugh out of me the most. Like, the villain of this movie, like, the villain Hard Eyes himself is also pretty well designed and portrayed. He carves out the spot that really stands alongside slasher icons of the past, like, but their presence, their brutality, and resourceful use of unassuming items turned to killing tools, like, it's like this, it really did feel like a new kind of slasher character. Like, these are the kind of new slasher killers we need. Like, we need more stuff like Terrifier. We need more stuff like Happy Death Day. We need more stuff like this. We need more stuff like Thanksgiving. Not more Screams, or Elm Streets, or Halloweens, or Chucky's. We need these guys. Like, those guys, their legacy's over. They've had their runs. Now we need these four new guys. These four new guys should be our new legacy for this generation. These killers in those four movies I mentioned are our newbies now. This is this generation's slasher icons. The film also really handles cynical romantic tropes with more fineness than really expected. Like these characters, usually characters like this in a romance movie would often come across as stellar force, but surprisingly, these two leads are actually pretty written well. They have perfect wit, they have perfect self-awareness, they even have this whole little I don't like you at first, like goodwill chemistry. They kind of feel like siblings at first when you first meet, whenever they argue. But then of course, here like the forced romance here would actually kind of work well. And it keeps them really engaging rather than just dull, lifeless people you don't care get together or not. Or where them getting together is just obvious as soon as they meet. There. And another great delight was like the humor of this movie. Yeah, there's definitely quite a bit of humor in this movie because it's supposed to be kind of as rom-com and horror movie combined. It starts right from like the opening scene, and it really sticks this great balance and it's levity without undercutting the horror. Like the proposal scene, like the guy that's supposed to be getting a picture of the couple that gets murdered in the beginning. I didn't get that. Oh, of course you didn't get that. Well, I tried to propose to my girlfriend. You know what? Get it right this time, or I'm gonna come after you through Yelp. And the photographer's like, I don't have Yelp. Like easily, and yeah, like, and of course the kills, because this is a slasher film, you hope there's great kills here, and there's great kills here. The kills are fresh, they're inventive, they're brutal. The style really has echoes like Jason Voorhees, and it feels distinct too. And the plot does get seamlessly between laughs, carnage, and the warm fuzzy feeling anybody would get when they see these two characters fall in love. And which, even if you find sometimes these characters can be sappy and annoying, like Hard Eyes though has enough graphic violence to keep the gorehounds entertained. And so, when they're at the police station, our two detectives have pointed out Jay's initials match the one on the ring, and Sean points out that he's in the same cities at the same time as the killer's previous attacks, and Allie waits in the lobby with the desk clerk and then meets David, who's working on the computers. And David asks Allie pretty much who's out on the whim, but Allie declines though because of her recent stress, so David leaves, and David's this guy that's at the police station working at the computers, and she meets this police officer clerk behind a desk, and she's literally asking her what's going on, and the cop's just being unprofessional and not really being much assistance, and like, yeah, to be fair, this cop actually kind of, Allie's right about this cop. This cop is kind of a bit of a bitchy, to be fair, which Allie even calls her that during the scene, like, but then Hard Eyes cuts the power, then he evades the station by deactivating the power, and kills the clerk before moving in to attack Allie. It's when Shaw's like trying to get this little snack out of the vending machine, and then Shaw goes to confront Hard Eyes, but Hard Eyes disappears and he kills Hobbs. So sadly though, Devon Sawyer gets killed before he can really do much in the story. Again, like come on, dude. Did Devon Sawyer really have to die? So right there, and so pretty much then Allie rescues Jay, and so they go to this drive-in movie theater, right, all the way there, and I did like that. I do miss drive-in theaters. I wish they were still a thing. I used to have one, but last year it fucking closed. It's gone now. It's fucking nice. So that's where they get there, and that's that death scene in the car that I talked about, and when they're hiding the car, they hear the couple having sex, like, dude, quiet. There's a killer after us. There, and so Hard Eyes is there, and you think a killer like this would ignore these goers, or these goers would start running as soon as they see this guy dressed up, and no, like, this guy actually kills a few of these cinema goers while trying to find this couple, and doesn't just ignore them. So, at least there's something like that about this killer, and in a way. Yeah, he gets to that car and he kills the couple this funny death, and then he kills a few more cinema goers, and it was nice to see a little killing at a drive-in. So, Allie and Jay just try to flee, but they realize, we can't do this. This guy's gonna keep killing people, so we have to end this all, so he doesn't kill any more couples. So, they do so, they scuffle with Hard Eyes, and then Jay finally manages to stab Hard Eyes, and They unmask him, it's this unknown man. Then the two of them get tended by an ambulance, and the ambulance person's like, you two are going to be famous as the people that killed Hard Eyes. And then Jordana Brewster's character shows up to pretty much give Jay a ride back home or back to the airport. And of course, he accepts that, and Allie then gets back home. And then when she's back home, she eats ice cream, calls her friend on the phone, tells her friend, I realized something, I really like Jay. And then Allie's friend tells her, go find him and tell him how you feel. And so she realizes she loves Jay, and then goes to find him at the airport. And this scene plays out like a romantic comedy in a way. It's kind of a parody of romantic comedies in this bit, because when she gets there, there's this guy that kind of looks like Jay. And I was kind of led to believe it was too, but she runs up to him, then hugs him, and the guy just turns around and it's not even her, like, what are you, and the guy just gives her this look like, lady, what the heck are you doing? Why are you hugging me for? Like, and she's like, oh, sorry, I thought you were someone else. And of course, she gets a phone call, and it turns out Hard Eyes is still alive. That was not the real Hard Eyes they killed, because, to be fair, of course that's obviously not the real Hard Eyes they killed, because usually they would, in movies like this, you're going to find out who the killer is, so I obviously knew it wasn't going to be over after that, and so yeah. He tells Amy that he's holding Jay captive at a chapel, so Ellie arrives, and then Hard Eyes reveals himself as the computer guy we saw earlier named David. And it's revealed that the previous Hard Eyes was just a copycat and fanboy named Eli, so... And then, of course, Jordana Brewster then comes out, reveals herself as the other Hard Eyes and David's wife. Then, of course, she and David have committed every murder as Hard Eyes. They switch out the costume, so... Unfortunately, it kind of... Yeah... It pretty much goes like the Scream cliche again. Like, I was honestly really I was like, come on, do we have to do Scream again with the... Does every modern horror film nowadays need to be like Scream? Like, honestly, like, Thanksgiving did the same thing, and it's... The Scream cliche is starting to get really annoying. Like, I really am starting to get annoyed with this kind of cliche people thinking they need to put this cliche in every slasher film nowadays. Like, for once, like, can we for once just have, like, no, maybe not trying to be a Scream clone, but it doesn't ruin the movie for me. I'll admit that. Like, it didn't destroy the film for me, like, and plus, I'll admit, I didn't expect Jordana Brewster to be one of the killers. I did not expect her character to be one of the killers. David, though, I guess I could see coming a long way away, because we only saw this guy for one scene, and this guy seemed a little bit stern when he first met him, so a part of me did kind of know that guy probably was going to be the killer, to be fair. But yeah. So, how it all went. Shaw, Jordana Brewster's character, was the one who attacked him at the apartment. David, on the other hand, was the one who killed the cab driver and the couple at the winery, and lost his ring there. Like, the motivation, like, it's this thing, like, where they kill together for fun, so yeah, I like that they don't have a backstory, like, they don't have this, like, cheesy backstory or generic backstory where either they had abusive parents, or they had shitty lives, or people treat them like shit. No, I like that these two actually they kill each other. They like to kill people because they're just sadistic, and they just like to kill people and hurt others for fun. So I feel like for once they actually treat killers as actual scumbags and actually evil, sadistic people. A slasher film that actually does that in quite a while. There's some terrifying movies, yeah, but Art the Clown's not a human person. He's a demonic entity. There's kind of a difference there. So the 2% Allie with the choice of killing herself or killing Jay. But at first it seems like she's going to kill Jay, but kind of just lightly shoots him in the shoulder because she's actually shooting Shaw. But it does hit Jay in the process. Like, yeah, our actors, Olivia Holt and Mason Gooding, they're just terrific duo as Allie and Jay. The relationship starts off a little rocky. They kind of start off like annoyed siblings with each other, but they have every twist and turn, and they realize they have to rely on each other to get along to survive as their chemistry grows. And there's this good amount of comedic energy between the entire cast, and you can tell everyone's having fun with the role. Roles they have to play. And the star of the show, the hard-eyes killer, definitely this menacing figure with this well-designed mask, and brutally dismembers his next victims and does it with style points. Like, yeah. Like, slap. Like, this kind of kills that would definitely please slasher fans. And the comedic timing shines, like, because the two leads, they bring charm and the awkwardness to their roles. Right there. And the creative direction really stands out with the stylized action sequences and event kills that keep viewers on the edge of their seats. And the overall story structure is definitely, unfortunately, Scream influenced, like, but it does, I guess, blend quite effectively with the rom-com genre. And because it follows the hard-eyes killer as he latches onto this couple to kill on Valentine's Day after the recent meet. Like, and it works quite well for a story. The individual parts aren't overly unique, but once they get matched together, it really makes for this relatively unique and entertaining story. And the movie does lean into the romance and comedy, but it does so in a way that it doesn't slow down the story and actually makes us care more about the characters because when they're hunted by a serial killer. Right there. So now we get on with the finale of the movie, how it all ends, where they're at that chapel and the couple then fights as the two couples fight each other, where Jay stabs David in the eye with his own arrow, so David falls onto candles where the wax burns him. Like, originally I thought the candles that were lit were going to fall on him and he was going to burn to death, but instead he, like, gets burned by the wax, so that was a nice little unique kill right there. And Allie then pushes Shaw onto a statue of St. Valentine, which stabs her neck with this Mel straw that Allie has this Mel straw throughout the film because, like, she has the same thing as me. I too fucking hate paper straws. Fuck paper straws, you know. I prefer plastic straws. So what if plastic straws are bad for the environment? It's like, plastic straws actually lasted. And also, like, Jay's right about the thing. They keep the cup in plastic, but they make paper straws. Like, yeah. Paper straws are fucking stupid. Fuck paper straws. Give me plastic straws any day. Please. It's like, plastic straws may be bad for the environment, but they actually last. I like the paper straws that melt in minutes as soon as you put them in any liquid. Like, yeah. So I'm definitely with both of them on that. So yeah. It's a nice little kill, and she pushes Jordana Brewster's character to this statue of St. Valentine, and the statue then decapitates her, and at first her head's mounted on the statue, and then it falls off to her body. And now he's like the St. Valentine's Day statue, your day fucking sucks. And then at the same time, Jay shoots Dave with another arrow, and it ends in Shaw's killing spree. And honestly, I feel like him just dying from the wax would have been better, because I feel like the arrow kill was a little anticlimactic. Right there, and I feel like Shaw should have been the one they killed last. Because, like, yeah, I thought David's death was pretty anticlimactic and too quick. But yeah, their killing spree has ended, and Hard Eyes is really now actually dead. And so, they two then embrace, and so it's the next year, and Allie returns to medical school, and they now have a new little commercial campaign that's actually now successful. And the couple, they go to the same drive-in, and they attend a drive-in movie where Jay asks Allie to move in with him, but it ends like a rom-com. She wants no keys, but proposes to him and he accepts. And they all get married. Yeah, because, guys, it's still a rom-com in kind of a way, so we need to end the movie like that. Of course they're gonna fall in love, of course they're gonna get married, of course they're gonna probably start a family. What else? You think they just say no and go their separate ways? You think that would be how it ends? But there is a post-bid credit scene where Allie receives this mysterious and sinister phone call, but it turns out it's her friend just pretending to be Hard Eyes to prank her, who had photographed the proposal, and it turns out, like, yeah. So, at first it seems like there's going to be another sequel tease, but it turns out it's a got-ya prank kind of post-credit scene, but that's how Hard Eyes ends. Hard Eyes himself is dead, Shaw and David are both dead. Jane and Allie are going to be moving in together. You get a prank jet ending in the end credits from Monica. So it does kind of still end on a satisfying note. It doesn't make an obvious sequel setup. In a way, it doesn't end like Thanksgiving where the killer could still be alive and then it just rolls credits because the main character's dream in that movie. Yeah, a main character I didn't really, unlike Thanksgiving's main character that I didn't really care about, which the killer in Thanksgiving is the main character I wish was the main character instead. Like with Thanksgiving, I don't know why Patrick Dempsey could have been the main character. I would have liked the movie a lot better, and the TV host guy could have been the killer instead. But instead of being about those lame teenagers, I don't give a rat's ass about. But yeah, that's how Hard Eyes ends. Hard Eyes has better characters in my eyes. Now, would Hard Eyes have bad qualities? No, I would say the script is a little bit tight and a little iffish at times, and the writing and some of the romantic subplot and narrative can be a little frustrating at times, and the climatic reveal, the Scream twist, feels very cliched, and I really wish they didn't try to go the Scream route, to be fair, because that's plaguing a lot of modern slashers now, Hollywood slashers nowadays, and it's getting really annoying. Plus, Scream is really starting to get milked to death as well. Like, the ending is kind of a little complicated, and there's side characters that are not really well developed, so their motivations aren't really clear, and Allie at first kind of does start off a little bit bitchy when you first meet her, but thankfully she improves as the movie progresses. But other than those, I still enjoyed Hard Eyes, and it was nice to see a new Valentine's Day themed horror film. I would definitely recommend slasher fans go watch this, and any fans of rom-coms too go watch this. It's pretty much a film made for both. So in the end, Hard Eyes, yep, it's totally worth buying for your soon-to-be 2025 collection, because it may not be a masterpiece, but it's a nice little horror twist on the rom-com genre, that's for sure. Anyways guys, that's it for my review of Hard Eyes. You're wondering how I'm going to rate Hard Eyes, here's how I'm going to rate this movie. So overall, if you are looking for a rom-com with slasher killing for this Valentine's Day, look no further because you will totally get that with Hard Eyes. And if you're wondering how I'm going to rank Hard Eyes, I'm going to give Hard Eyes a 7.5 out of 10. Alright, there we go guys. That wraps up my review for Hard Eyes. Now I want to know in the comments down below what you guys thought about Hard Eyes. Whether you loved it, whether you hated it. And yeah. Finally, we got to see an actually good movie, first good movie of 2025. Yeah. Ironically, another horror film. Because the thing is, we started off 2025 with a bad horror film, which was Wolfman, a movie that I was hoping would be at least decent, but it wasn't. And ironically, this, a movie I had not heard about, ended up actually being good. So until then, guys, that'll be it for this review. Happy Valentine's Day. Thank you all for watching. If you like this, want to see more, don't forget to like, subscribe to Don G. Corleone.